How's it going? My name is Ryan Joseph. I'm going to be talking about some shots that I have captured in the past and just kind of like what I think about them and maybe why we did it and how we lit it, stuff like that. This is just super off the cuff. Just wanted to kind of have some fun with this idea. So, yeah, here we go. All right, first shot up, we have this kind of like medium close up of our hero here, Isaac, for a short film that I did based off of the video game Dead Space. And this is like the first shot of him in the Ishimura, which is basically like a haunted space station with like alien zombies and a bunch of bad shit like that. So this, for more context, I kind of wanted to break my rule here. I'm going to go back and forth on both of these shots here because I think that we need the context. So basically, this is the first scene. He has a conversation with his wife, and then he's talking about, how much he misses her, all those things, and he's going to be leaving soon or whatever. And this is the first scene in the movie, and we end the movie with him kind of like hanging up the phone, and then he kind of like tilts his eyes down and he kind of like sinks into his sadness. And then we match cut into this frame right here. So we wanted to do that because the director Ricky, he just felt like he wanted to basically kind of showcase like, one, maybe this is like a memory, maybe it did happen, maybe it's a memory, maybe he's thinking about what would have happened, whatever. But he wanted to basically start the movie in like not on the spaceship, which I thought was fucking brilliant. So I was really happy to do this. So these kind of go hand in hand because we shot, I forget which one we shot first, but we had the match cut to the other one, right? So how we lit this, there's a couple tube lights here on some fixtures up there. That's probably giving us this light here and some of this as well. The light on this is coming from what I assume is probably another tube light that we have over here that's kind of getting him right on the side. We have another light here, which is coming from our overheads, because I know that we had down the hall a bunch of overheads going down. So that's probably hitting him here. And then the last thing is, I think we brought in, it looks like one more light that we brought in. I think this is the tube that was off to the side here. And then, yep, it definitely is. That's definitely the tube that's like mounted to the wall. And then I think we added like some sort of eye light or a smaller unit. Maybe it was like a small softbox or something that was kind of controlled. Could have been a light mat. Don't really remember exactly. But that would have just given us our level on the actual face. And then, yeah, so basically that's the whole concept of like how we lit this shot. It was pretty off the cuff because we lit the whole scene, we lit the whole hallway, and then we basically just shot it out. And when we needed to move in for a close-up, we would just bring something in just to give it a little bit more. And that was basically the strategy on how we can move quickly and make sure everything looked really good. But we shot this on the Red Raptor. I really wanted everything to be pretty down in the dumps, dark. It's based off a horror game, so we wanted to really embrace shadows and really embrace that vibe, but still have like kind of an alien movie vibe, Alien 2, Alien 2 in specific, like when it comes to like that steel blue, which is all over the place in this movie. And I just think it's really cool. But yeah, talking about the first shot, it's honestly a pretty similar setup. We had, I mean, I guess it's not, but we had, I just feel like every shot is like you have the same goal almost every time, right? Shoot on the shadow side. You're shooting into the L of the room, which we are here. We're on shadow side, right? Shadow side. We're on shadow side, and like it's like you just do these basic things, and you end up getting a good image almost every time, right? I mean, it's like the hard part becomes less about what to do and more like how to actually do it, because you're always up against so many obstacles that are trying to make it impossible for you to do the correct thing, right? Making an image isn't necessarily difficult. It's just the obstacles that come into play when you're trying to make the image is what makes it difficult. So this we're shooting at night. I'm thinking like, this is like a curtain here. In the wider frame, we have him. This is like a sodium vapor light that I was thinking was like bleeding through something like really industrial and kind of musty, dystopian. Like he's on Earth, but it's like it's like he's living underneath artificial light. The reason why we don't have an eye light on him right now is because the blue light that would have been on his face when he's talking on the video chat with his wife that would have popped up here would have had like a screen, I think it was, that was lit up, and that was blue, and that was illuminating his face. We had like a little MC off to the side, which would have given him that, and that would have gotten his eye light, right? But the video just turned off, and so his face gets darker, and then the eye lights go away, as if like the life from his love is now gone, and so the life in him is now gone too. So we were thinking about that. We have this lamp, which is a similar color as this. It's like identical, but I really like keeping the images in a similar palette. I don't want to jump around too many tones, but I just love the shape that this gets. I love how dark this little patch is here. I love all of this random stuff, and yeah, we shot this on the Red Raptor, so we were going for kind of a large format look. 2:1 aspect ratio. We're really really blurry everywhere else except for just him, and I think it works really well for this. So I'm gonna move on to very different type of vibe here, but this is a little visualizer that we did for this artist Ij, and he's like an American Korean artist, has really good music. You should go check him out. And this was directed by Kalos, and they just really wanted to build like this kind of ethereal, kind of airy vibe, and kind of bring some motifs and some energy from Fallen Angels, if you ever seen the movie. And so we were really looking at like the yellow and the green tones to kind of guide this, which was really fun because you don't usually get to light your people like with yellow, but we did here. So you can't see it, but this is basically just being lit by a very controlled ceiling bounce that's going through a shaft. So if you imagine, like, if this is solid and this is solid, we have the light bounced off the ceiling and then it's coming down, and that is what is hitting him right here. And yeah, that's literally it for this scene. It was one light. There might maybe would have been a fill, but I highly doubt it. I think this was literally just that one light, and it just has such a cool quality to it. I just love how it wraps off of his face like that. Looks fantastic. And the frame is great because he was doing his little dance, his little movement, and the song is called Pause. And he held that pose and he said pause and he didn't move. And so I was handheld operating this and kind of floating with him. But then when he stopped moving, he did this little pause. I also paused and I didn't move until he started moving again, which wasn't planned. It was just kind of like we felt it, right? And so I love kind of like, it sounds funny, but like dancing with the talent, with the camera, because you get to have those moments where you kind of just get into sync rhythmically with your talent, and I just love when that happens. So we love to work with him again. Fantastic guy, really nice. And then the last one for the day is this is from a short film called The Sounds She Knows, and this was kind of like in the beginning of the film. We're kind of exploring the environment that she's in right now, and she has dementia, and so she can't remember anything. So she's seeing everything in her own house for the first time. So she's looking at this little art piece, this little water fountain thing, which I love the shapes that it makes here. And she's just kind of like gets sucked into it for some reason, and we don't really know why. Everything in this movie is, to some extent, a lot of pieces are left up for interpretation and are very, very intentionally vague. But the vibes is what we were creating here. But to motivate it, it's basically she's rediscovering the house for the first time because she keeps forgetting every time she wakes up. Every day, every 5 minutes, even, like, she doesn't even know where she is. So she's kind of just fixated on this tranquil, kind of hypnotizing water fountain. And I really like that. I think it's really cool. I love these little plants that are here, this highlight, these little twinklies here, adding all these details. Again, framing within a frame. we're literally boxing her in. Like she's trapped in her own mind. She can't get out of, this memory loop that keeps resetting every few minutes, So I really like how this looks. I love how this piece kind of ends up blending into her skin tone a little bit. I think that's so cool. It's like disfiguring her own face. And I don't know. I just love stuff like that. So I like this shot. Um, how we lit it was probably just, some top down kind of light. I can tell because the shadows are pointing this way, right? So I think we have some top down light kind of hitting this piece. And then for her, we probably had another top down light that was just over the other side of this that was hitting her. It's either that or it was literally over this evenly and it was bleeding over this side and that side. Can't remember. It's been a minute, but that's probably where I would start if I were to recreate this now. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you next time.